Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are all well. Today's video is a little bit different and it's something I've wanted to kind of like make a video on and document the process. I turned 30 in November and of course like everyone is now like having babies and I am not there yet. And I just kind of wanted to start like the process of like checking my eggs, making sure that I'm okay, I'm healthy, making sure that the quality is good. I just wanted to pretty much like figure it out and just see like where I am on my fertility clock. I don't even know if that is like the right term for it, but yeah, probably. I am someone who likes to go into something really informed and well prepared. So yeah, like, you know, having been divorced and kind of like starting over again, and like the clock is ticking. I know that the clock is ticking, and I know women are having children at a lot later age, and that's great. So like I'm not super pressured in that aspect, like even like my mum is not harassing me for grandchildren or anything like that, but I just want to make sure that like everything with me like is okay and all good, so when I do start trying, then you know, like it won't stress me out as much. That's all I'm trying to say. So last week I actually ended up booking a fertility test. I went for like the blood test, the AMH test, I think it's called. And that pretty much calculates like the egg count to see if it was normal for my age. So I actually booked it and I hate needles. I will say that. I hate needles so much that I freaked out a little bit and I was going to cancel my test. But then I was kind of like, you know what? Like I've been wanting to do this for a really, really long time. I was meant to start this journey probably about 2 years ago at the beginning of 2023. And something inside me was kind of like, don't do it yet. Just wait a little while. And kind of thank God I did wait, because obviously 2023 was not a great year for me at all. I was under a lot of stress. I was not happy. My marriage fell apart in that year as well. Yeah, those factors would have definitely like had a play in the results. And I think like my body and my mind and the universe was kind of telling me like, this is probably not the father of your kids. So maybe just like don't rush into anything. I'm now with someone who I do see myself having kids with, but we also want to do so many things. So I don't really want to rush into having kids. I would like to know that like I have time. I have the time to be able to do things that I want to do and to do things that we both want to do. This girl does not like pressure at all. I will put it out there. So anything to kind of like ease it and kind of like put my mind at rest is great. But yeah, I booked the test. I was going to cancel it and then I realized, you know what? I need to be a big girl about this. Like it's literally a blood test. I will be in and out within 5 minutes and I think I get my results a few days afterwards. So I was like, you know what, let me just go ahead and like not cancel it, just reschedule it. After speaking with the MLS team, I ended up emailing the founder. She actually had a look at all of my content and she really, really loved everything that I did. And we started discussing if this was something I would be open to talking about and kind of like document my journey. I definitely feel like a lot of women would benefit from this service. I feel like at this stage in my life, like this is a way that I can take a little bit of control and like know for certain like what's really happening with my body. Like having been on the pill since I was like 17, I think. Yeah, 17. Like that's kind of scary. That's absolutely terrifying that now that I think about it. So like it's a lot of like chemicals and you know all of that stuff like this pumping, like it's been pumping in my body since I was 17. So yeah, I kind of just wanted to document everything. If this video like helps anyone, helps any of you guys going to like get tested, or like break the taboo around like IVF or egg freezing or anything like that, I think that is great. And yeah, I kind of just want to document my journey. Like, I don't know what is gonna happen. I really don't. So I have a call with Yasmin in like 30 minutes and I'm going to record the call. It's pretty much the first step of kind of like a little consultation just to kind of see, I think, like where I'm at. And then she will like determine what kind of like testing I would need and stuff like that. I think that's great, to be honest, because I think that would put my mind at ease a little bit more. I kind of booked the test actually from seeing my friend Sophie do her test, and she's a little bit older than me, but it just got me thinking. And I was like, look, I was meant to do this 2 years ago, and I'm further along in life now, and you know, a lot of things have changed. I feel like things are going to keep on changing. So many new opportunities, and I'm being pulled in left, right, and like all different directions. I don't really know where I'm gonna be in like a year or two. This is like one of the things that I can find out more about and like be more prepared. And yeah, I'm like a little bit nervous, but I'm also really excited because it's something that I've been wanting to do for a really long time, but I've just been putting it off. So now I'm just gonna be like a big girl adult and just do it. So yeah, I'm gonna hop on a call with Yasmin. I will film it. Hopefully everything is okay, and then I can go in and do like all of my testing, I think, in a few weeks. And yeah, I'm gonna take you guys on the whole journey with me. Actually, like vlogging right now.
Hi, Yasmin.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fab, thank you. I'm working from Spain this week, so I can't.
Oh, that's so nice. I'm actually going to Ibiza in like a few hours.
So excited to chat. I wanted to have this little call first because just to give you like a bit of background about Amelie's and like what we do and everything like that.
Yeah.
We always take calls with women. It's like a big part of our day job. Basically, 3 years ago, my co-founder Sarita and I set up Amelie's because we ourselves were really struggling to find like any support. So she had just frozen her eggs and it was a tough journey.
Yeah.
She felt very alone. I think she spent like £750 on 3 different consultations with different doctors.
Oh wow.
Just trying to like navigate where to go and what to do. And then on my end, I actually always had issues with my periods and everything down there. And unfortunately didn't really get any help from the NHS. So about like 10 years of like complaining to my GP, nothing really happened. And like, okay, this can be better. Let's do something. So we kind of came together. My background is in building apps for healthcare, and her background is more in kind of like commercials and financials, essentially. So we were like a good pair to start a business. That's what we did.
Yeah.
And yeah, Amelie's today is really, you know, a place where you can find resources for free, find doctors, find tests. And actually, as a company, we also build software for doctors and clinics.
Oh, wow,
so
okay.
I wanted to chat with you today just to learn a little bit more about what you're looking into, where you're at, and then see like if there's certain tests that make most sense for you, or if we need to get any like medical opinions, because I'm not a doctor, I can't give you any medical advice, but it would just be really good to learn a little bit about what you're looking into, why you want to book an AMH test, and if there's anything else we can know to kind of help you along the way.
I saw you guys from Sophie, and I was thinking about doing something like this probably 2 years ago, in 2023, like beginning of 2023. But then I separated from my husband at the time, and then we got divorced. So I kind of found myself at 29 kind of like back at square one, and it's been on my mind for a really long time, and I was like, okay, I think I should probably, like, I don't want to rush into anything, but I kind of just want to know, like, how
Yeah.
my body is, like what is the quality of my eggs? Are they okay? Do I need to like think about freezing them? I have a boyfriend now and we've been together for a while, but and we both want kids, but we're also like we have so much that we want to do before we have kids. So yeah, I'm kind of like just wanting to really start the journey and kind of figuring out what, like how my fertility is.
Yeah, amazing, cool. And honestly, it's so great that you're doing this because I feel like for most women or couples, just doing testing and just being aware of your body is enough. The majority of people will get pregnant naturally and won't necessarily need egg freezing or IVF. So I think it's also just learning a little bit about what should you guys know, what can you test, and
Yeah.
then based off of test results for decisions, you can then look into things. There's really like no big rush. I know everybody tries to like rush women into egg freezing, but
Yeah.
I'm a big believer that you have to take your time. Like I haven't frozen eggs, for example, because based off of my situation and my fertility levels, so it's not necessarily for everyone.
Yeah.
But there's definitely cases where it makes sense and it's a great optimization. Maybe to start, it would be good to tell you a little bit about what you can and can't test with fertility. Two things really that are contributing to your fertility levels, and that's the quantity of your eggs and the quality of your eggs.
Yeah.
So quantity, essentially we're all born with millions of eggs. It's actually crazy. And over time we release, thousands and thousands and thousands, and they're so tiny in the body just kind of flushes most of them away. But every single month when you're ovulating, you're just releasing one egg. But there's actually a bunch of eggs growing on your ovaries. This is called your follicle count. It's like
Okay.
a little follicle full of fluid and eggs. One of them becomes dominant, and that's the one that ovulates. Sometimes you get two. That's where you can get twins, or sometimes the egg can split. But essentially, that quantity is a measure of how many follicles you have on your ovaries at the moment. So this is something you can test. This test is not going to tell you, oh, you're fertile or not fertile, because let's say your levels came back low, it doesn't really matter because as long as you're still producing an egg every month, you can get pregnant.
Okay.
But what it does matter is that if you did need fertility treatment in the future, like egg freezing or IVF, that you're probably going to get a low number of eggs. So for example, like if you're 25 and you tested this and it came back quite low, that is probably a good profile for egg freezing because you're low, so maybe you're going to reach menopause a little bit earlier than the average person your age. Maybe it's more likely that you're going to need fertility treatment, so you might want to like capture some eggs before it goes even lower, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But for the majority of people, they're in that normal to high range. So it's a nice check-in just to kind of see where you're at with your follicle count. But again, doesn't relate to actually getting pregnant naturally. It's just purely for thinking about things like egg freezing and IVF. So that's what an AMH test is.
Okay.
An AMH test is a blood test. It's going to see exactly where your AMH levels are, which is produced by your ovaries on the follicles. And it's going to be able to tell us, okay, are you in that low, normal, or high region? So low is a sign of being perimenopausal. Okay, it's quite rare, so don't worry too much, but that is a good thing to capture now, obviously, because there's a lot you can do to know that information.
Yeah.
And if it's quite high, then that's a signal of polycystic ovaries, which kind of opens a world of another conversation, and it just means that you've got like so many follicles on your ovaries, and that in itself can make it harder to get pregnant. I think AMH is definitely a great test for everyone to do if they've never done it before.
Yeah.
Just because it's very invisible, like you would never have symptoms of these things necessarily, but just to kind of know where you're at, and then it also helps with making a decision about egg freezing. So let's say you come back with quite normal levels, then you're like, okay, well, I might retest this again in the future. If when I'm 33 and I'm still thinking that actually kids are not going to be on our timeline anytime soon, then you can kind of revisit the conversation. So it kind of also helps to know just where you're at, if that makes sense. The second thing is quality, and unfortunately you can't measure it. It's impossible. So we don't have any tests at the moment to see the quality of your eggs. The only way you can test egg quality is either trying to get pregnant and to see how it goes, or if you did do egg freezing or embryo freezing or IVF in general, then you can actually test the quality of those embryos once, you know, they're actually in like a petri dish.
Yeah.
So that's the only way you can do it. There's some clinics now that if you do freeze eggs, they use AI and they take a picture of your egg and they're able to give you some information about the health of the eggs, but obviously it's all like predictions and AI, so I don't know yet how reliable it is. So with quality, really the main thing is age. As you age, the quality reduces, and that's just because the ovaries are the fastest aging organ in the body. So in our mid 30s, late 30s, early 40s, that's when we tend to see quite a decline and an increase in couples needing IVF to get pregnant, and you know, just a bit harder to get pregnant because every month you're releasing that one egg, and if 30% of your eggs are high quality, then you know it's just lowering the chances basically.
Yeah.
So this is again where egg freezing comes into the picture, because the idea is that, okay, if you get some younger, healthier eggs, if you were ever in that position, which again is hopefully not, then you could use those younger, healthier eggs rather than the older, fresh eggs. What you can do now is have a test of your quantity. Also have a scan. I think not enough women have a check-in scan, just to kind of see how everything's looking. Like, have you ever had a scan before?
No, the ultrasound?
Yeah.
No, never. I've actually, I remember sitting in with my pregnant friend when she went to the hospital to get her ultrasound, and I remember sitting there and I was like, whoa, like they actually don't teach us any of this in school. Like they don't, nobody talks about it, and I just like, yeah, it was kind of like weird, but it was kind of cool to see.
No, you're totally right. And I feel like in so many countries like Spain, when you're 18, you would go to the gynecologist, you'd have a scan, you would visit the gynecologist like on a yearly basis or every couple of years. And we just don't have that in the UK.
Yeah.
It's just, there's no budget for it. Like, even me, like when I was going to my GP complaining about my periods, I never got referred to a gynecologist. Like, I never even got the referral. So I think it's so tough. And I'm a big advocate of doing your tests privately and then taking them to the NHS if you need any sort of like treatment, something. Because it's not too expensive. Like you can get a scan in London for about £100. Maybe in some other places it can go up to £200. But I think just checking in every couple of years on scan is a huge thing. And there's so many things that you can find early and that can be treated. And obviously it would save the NHS actually money.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely recommend having a little scan just to see, because I think, you know, it's super normal to have a little growth, like a little fibroid or a polyp, like these little things that are not necessarily dangerous, but you want to keep an eye on them. You want to know like well before trying to get pregnant, and just like being aware of these things essentially. So yeah, I think in your case probably an AMH test and a scan. Do you have any I don't know, have you been experiencing any issues with your periods, any like hormonal things, or do you have quite like a regular, stable period?
So I am on the pill. I have been on the pill since I was 17. So like it's been a while. I've noticed in the past few years my period's getting a lot lighter, but my cramps have been getting a lot more painful. So I even went to the doctors and I asked, and I was like, is this normal? And she kind of was like, oh, we have to book in another appointment. I can't really like let you know now. It was just like a little bit of like a weird situation, and I still haven't really gotten like an answer. So I don't even know if it is normal.
Yeah. It's hard to know because the pill is kind of like masking your hormones. So it's like artificially, you know, changing your hormones. So you'll only probably know if you get off of it, and then you kind of let your body reset and see how you are, like in terms of your true levels, right? But this is also, it's a lot of effort, I know, to get off the pill, and also, obviously you're in a relationship, so that might not be like the best option for you, depending on like what you want. So in terms of AMH, your AMH level will be affected by the pill. It will come back a little bit lower probably than what it really is, but I still think it's worth testing, and typically it's tested anyway, even if you're on contraception. Just because if you were that low level or that high level, it would still come up. But what's likely is that if you got off the pill and you redid it, then it might go up a little bit. So any other hormonal tests wouldn't be relevant for you because you're on the pill. So you wouldn't really know like your true baseline levels. So I think, again, starting off with that AMH, with that scan, just to kind of see, is there any evidence for why your periods might be getting shorter? I think those two tests can probably unlock some things, or not. And then there's another conversation for in the future when you get off of the pill. And then I think just kind of testing and seeing what your natural like cycle is like.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what you could talk about in your scan appointment with the doctor. If you are thinking of getting pregnant in the future, what's a good time to stop the pill? And just like getting all of that information now, I think would be really useful for you.
Yeah, that's definitely what I'm looking for. Just to kind of like, yeah, kind of a nice timeline would be nice.
I can tell you're a planner. I'm a planner.
Yeah.
It's good to kind of just know the options. I think you're looking into it in like a really good time, honestly. I think this is the best age to really like discover these things and just know your options. So,
Yeah.
well, I'm going to email you now. I will just say one last thing. I recommend doing your AMH test first,
Okay.
get those results, and then go in for your scan so that you can at least talk about all of the results in the consultation together. And that's it. We're here if you need anything.
Amazing. So I am off to go get my bloods done right now. I probably won't be filming in the actual blood test because I will cry. So I'll probably film afterwards and update you guys. And yes, I have my hair done. Jump scare.
She's blonde.
I'm blonde. But yeah, I'll film after I get my bloods drawn. I did it and I cried a little bit. But yeah, I should get my results back in 2 to 3 days, I think. So I will let you guys know what the results are like. Hi guys, I don't know if you guys can hear me because I'm walking along the road, but we are going to go see Dr. Hall. I got my results back. I actually got them back like the same day that I got my blood tests done, and they said it was between 3 and 5 days. So I quickly had a look at the results, but we're going to go see how we're going to talk about what they mean, and then I think we're going to do like an ultra scan. But yeah, I'm kind of intrigued to see what she has to say, and yeah, I've never done anything like this, so yeah, let's go.
To see where you are
Yes.
in your own fertility journey, your own fertility potential journey. As in, not everyone wants to have a baby, but you need to know where you are just in case you decide you do want to have a baby one day.
Yeah.
Good.
Just, yeah, loosely map things out just to see if I need to
Have a think
do
early
anything
or do
really.
anything.
Yeah.
Correct. How old were you when you started having periods? Do you remember?
13, I think.
Mm-hmm. And were they normal to start with and regular, or did you have a troublesome first few years of periods, or were they pretty
I
normal?
think they were pretty regular.
Mm-hmm.
They started off normal,
Mm-hmm.
and then I went on the pill when I was 17.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still on the pill.
And why did you go on the pill? For contraceptive reasons, or did you have painful periods or anything?
It was more for contraceptive reasons, but I also like to know when my periods are due.
Yeah.
As you can see, I'm a little bit of a planner. They were fine for the first few years. I didn't really get any cramps or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess in the middle of those years, I had really heavy flows, and I started getting really bad cramping. And then now I have a lighter flow, but my cramps are probably a lot worse.
Right. Okay. It's still the same pill.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
Microgynon.
My good old. It's a tried and tested.
The OG one, yeah.
It's fantastic. Microgyno's where it's at, to be honest with you. Where are you in your pill packet now?
So I just started taking it again on Sunday. So I'm on the 3rd day of taking
Day
it.
3 of pack of bliss. Have you done an AMH with?
Yes, I have.
And what was the
Yes.
result?
It was a little more on the low side, but obviously it's because from the pill.
Yeah.
But everything seemed to be normal.
Yeah. Just an AMH. That's brilliant.
I thought so.
Brilliant. Okay. 16.7. Wonderful. So that's gynae, that sort of thing. Any problems with intercourse? Any pain or bleeding? Are you allergic to anything?
No.
No allergies? Do you smoke?
Occasionally.
Drink alcohol?
Yeah.
Any health issues at all?
No health issues.
No, don't need to go to the doctor for anything at all?
No.
Nil at all. Any surgery anywhere?
No.
What's your BMI, do you know? Or your weight
I
anyway?
have no idea, actually.
Weight roughly?
I have
no idea either.
Anything run in your family history? Any serious illnesses or problems with early heart attacks or tumours or cancers or anything like that? Blood
I think
clots
my
or anything?
grandma had breast cancer.
Grandma? Mum's mum or dad's mum?
Mum's mum.
Right, so maternal. What we're going to do is a scan,
Okay.
and we're going to have a look at your uterus and your ovaries and see really the information that you need to know. Basically, that your uterus looks normal, a normal shape, and that your ovaries are healthy, and they've got a number of these, what we call antral follicles. So the story is, I'm sure, did you go to one of the fertility and fajitas things?
No.
So basically,
That sounds fun though.
good, yeah, Annalise do it. So these are your ovaries, and all the eggs that you've got are in the middle of the ovaries. All right? So men, as you know, make sperm, fresh sperm, all day, every day, until they're about 90 something or other. Okay, whereas women are born with all the eggs they're ever going to have. They're there. In fact, they're there before you're born. The time you had most eggs is when you were still in your mother's uterus.
Okay.
And then by the time you're born, about half of them have already disappeared. It's amazing. Biology, terrible design. And then by the time you start having periods when you were 13 or 14, many more had already disappeared. And then from when you start having periods to when you go into the menopause, so throughout your reproductive life, just pretend you're not on the pill, what happens is waves of these tiny little immature follicles, these are called primordial follicles, make their way to the surface of the ovary. It takes about 2 months for them to get there, okay? And when they get to the surface, we can see them well, we can't see the eggs, but we can see these little things called antral follicles.
Okay.
The eggs get bigger as they get to the surface, and the ones just underneath the surface, called the preantral follicles, produce AMH.
Okay.
So that's where your AMH level comes from, and it tends to correlate with the number of follicles we can see. So someone with an AMH of 16, which is completely average for your age, would have probably 8 antral follicles on each ovary.
Okay.
Most women are losing about 15 eggs a month, and that's why we run out of eggs. So it's a bit of a bad design. So what we're here today to do is to confirm that your AMH level corresponds to what we can see on the scan, and that you are good to say, okay, I've got an average AMH level, an average number of eggs for my age. I'm not below average.
Yeah.
So if we found that someone had far less than we thought she would, we might be saying definitely freeze some eggs, you know. Someone who is in a relationship anyway and got an average reserve, you might say, well, that's looking good, that's a good baseline scan. Maybe come back next year if you haven't decided to have a baby yet, and see whether the numbers are staying the same or what, because they tend to start to fall at about 37 on average.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Some women it's a bit earlier than that.
Yeah.
I mean, I see some women in their late 20s who've already got very few follicles left, and that's just part of the normal distribution. You've got the average in the middle, and the people who go into menopause late and the people who go into menopause much earlier. This is a baseline to see where you are, so that you can say, well, I'm average, what am I going to do with my life? If you didn't have a partner, if you just set up a business and you knew you had no idea when you were going to have children, you might say, well, let me freeze some eggs and then I can stop thinking about it. Because it's not just the number of eggs, which we're talking about, but you've also got to remember that all women, the percentage of your eggs, which are genetically normal, changes as you get older.
Okay.
So as you get older, the genetics change, and
So the quality of
the
the
quality
eggs.
of them. Yeah. So the chance of having a baby from them gets harder as you get above 37, 40. All right. So we'll start with the baseline, and I'm expecting to see probably about 8 on each side. I'm wondering whether or not you've got endometriosis. So no pain during intercourse ever?
No.
And your last smear test was when?
It was definitely earlier this year.
How many days do you bleed for when you do get a period?
5 or 6.
And it's heavy?
It's light.
Very
it
light.
It used to be really heavy, but now it's
Spotting.
very light. It's not even spotting, but it's just
Right.
light. Yeah.
I think you might have endometriosis.
Okay.
Now, endometriosis is a funny thing, okay? It's usually the first thing that women think about with it is pain. They get painful periods, pain before periods, pain during intercourse, that sort of thing. And it doesn't necessarily always have an effect on your long-term egg number.
Yeah.
But it can have an effect on fallopian tubes and inflammation.
Right, so I have no idea why the sound got cut off in the last bit of footage, but I thought I'd pop on here and kind of like talk to you guys about what happened and the results and stuff like that. So yeah, it was really uncomfortable during the scan because it was like a vaginal scan. So they literally like probed me, and I had never had anything like that done before. Like I said, I have never gone to the gynecologist, and I think that every woman needs to like take that into their own hands and actually book one. Like, I didn't really know much about my body and like what could happen and like women problems or anything like that until I spoke to like other women, and they were telling me like their struggles and like what they were dealing with and stuff like that. Like, we don't get taught that kind of stuff in school, so I think like if you can book any sort of test, like even if it's a checkup, I highly recommend it. Like, this is the first time I'm having it done, and I'm 30. Like, I wish I started getting them done maybe when I was like 18 or 20, just so that I know that everything like is okay. So regarding the ultrasound, yeah, couldn't see anything on the left. We saw like maybe just a little bit, but it was so uncomfortable that we kind of just stopped, and I ended up going in the next day. And this time we were going to do a bladder scan, so the ultrasound of the bladder. So it was more like, you know, when you are pregnant and you go in and get an ultrasound. So this one wasn't like a vaginal one. So I literally laid down on the table and she put the gel on my stomach and kind of like, you know, had a look. And we saw a little bit, but again, like not too much. So we ended up getting in the doctor and having like a second opinion, and with her help we actually managed to kind of see my left ovaries a little bit better. And for that we actually went and did another vaginal like ultrasound. So again, I got probed. This time it was, I mean, still very uncomfortable, but at least we actually got to see like my uterus and my left side ovaries. And then throughout that process, I literally was just trying to like breathe and relax because again, it was very uncomfortable. And as they were talking about everything, I think they kind of found the problem. Afterwards, we sat down and we had a discussion, and she thinks that I actually have a, I don't want to get this wrong, a hematometra, which again, I have never heard of this before, but it made so much sense, especially when I described to her that my flow of my period was getting a lot lighter, but my cramps were getting so much more painful. And a hematometra, I still don't even know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, literally where there is a build up of, hold on, I'm just gonna let Google explain this to you because I don't want to get anything wrong. Hematometra is a rare condition where menstrual blood builds up in the uterus. It can cause pelvic pain or dysmenorrhea. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right either. The most common causes are an importunate hymen or a transverse vaginal septum. So how she explained it to me was that there was pretty much kind of like a blockage going on in my uterus, and essentially to kind of treat my symptoms and help with my cramps, we're gonna need to have like an operation. So I don't know when that's going to happen yet, but hopefully it can be kind of soonish. And it's not like super life-threatening or anything like that because I've been living with it for a while. But I'm just like so happy that kind of someone was able to find this and like listen to me, because I've gone to the doctors a few times and they're kind of just like not really, I feel like they're not really serious about it. And especially if I see a male doctor, which, no offense to male doctors in general, but when it comes to women's issues and problems, I don't think I should be seeing a male doctor. It's such a relief to kind of like to talk to someone and for them to understand and was like, okay, yes, like this is the issue and don't worry, like we're going to help you, like, you know, fix it and make sure that you're okay and you're gonna get better. Then the second part of the conversation, as you guys saw that I kind of touched on it in the footage before, was about endometriosis, which in the back of my mind for ages and ages now I thought I had. But I know like trying to get diagnosed on NHS was really such a long period of time, and especially if I don't have like a super severe symptoms kind of thing. So I'm really glad that she mentioned that, because we're also, I think, hopefully going to do kind of like the testing for it at the same time, make sure that it is endo, and then we can pretty much kind of like figure out a plan of what to do, what are the next steps. But I'm so glad that I took that appointment and I did not cancel. Imagine if I cancelled that and I just didn't go to it and I just carried on living my life like in pain. So I highly recommend you getting a test, especially if it's just like the AMH test. It is so quick and simple, guys. The bloods literally took 5 minutes. Yes, I was a little bit of a wimp, I did cry, but I got my results back actually the same day, and it literally put my mind at ease for a little bit. And then obviously if you want to do any more testing and stuff like that, do the ultrasound. I really do highly recommend the ultrasound as well. I will leave all the information down below from them. Like the whole team was just so lovely, and like Yasmin was so nice. The consultation call that I had with her, like I wish I would have included more footage from that, but we had like a half-an-hour call and it was just a lot of information, but she kind of literally just ran me through the whole process, like the information about like eggs and the quality and everything like that, and it is so worth doing. Even if, I guess, like you aren't ready for kids, or you don't want to think about them right now, or even if like maybe you don't even want to have kids, but going in and getting checked, like I highly like recommend that. I'm gonna recommend all of this to my friends, by the way. Every time we meet up we would talk about like our stomachs and our issues and like women's health, and we kind of just sit there, we're like, oh yeah, like we're in pain, but like we also don't really know what to do about it, or we just don't really know who to talk to. Like we don't really know where to go, where there are resources to kind of like help us understand a lot more. And I really wish they would have taught us in school just more about like the process and like IVF and like freezing eggs and like what, you know, what happens like if you don't I don't know, there's just like so much of women's health that is not taught in schools, and it really annoys me. Currently I am now waiting to see when I can go and get my operation, essentially. And I think because of like opening the bar last week and then me going in to go and get my scans and stuff and receiving this news, I actually haven't really had time to process it, because I think I had a conversation with Mike the other day because he came with me to the second scan, and he was like, yeah, you kind of didn't flinch when she said the word operation and like that you'd be put under and stuff like that. And I was like, oh yeah, that is kind of a big deal. Like it's pretty scary. I think I just kind of was like, yeah, okay, like this is what is happening, this is what's wrong, and we need to fix it. But like processing it, like I am still processing it. It's just kind of nuts. Like all of this happened so quickly, and I'm just so grateful I did not cancel my appointment. So yeah, I will keep you guys updated on this journey, and obviously when I go in and have like the operation and everything, I just want to kind of document this as much as possible because I feel like nobody talks about it. There's some weird taboo around it and I don't understand why, and I just want to be able to kind of like provide some sort of insight, or if you're scared about going and doing these tests and stuff, please don't be. Like, it could literally be life-saving. I will leave all the information of Amelis down below. I will also leave Dr. Hall's information down below as well. She is fabulous and she's so lovely. I literally felt so comfortable with her and we spoke about like a range of different things, and she just made me feel like safe and comfortable and be open to share everything. So yeah, I highly recommend Amelis and Dr. Hall. I'm not really sure when part 2, I guess, of this video will be, but I will keep you guys updated, especially on my Instagram as well. And I'm hoping I get more answers soon. And thank you so much for watching. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them below. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.